It's tough. STD time. That's what it is. It's the STD timeline. Janeway is important enough for a class. Why no Picard class? That's a good question, and it's something we've actually wanted them to do, and they're thinking about doing. But they have to pass it by CBS, because this CBS is the one who actually controls the Star Trek IP. This is created by Cryptic, and they don't actually own it. I mean, they own what they've created, right? But they don't own the IP, so whatever they do in the game, they have to pass by CBS, and they passed renaming this to the Janeway class by CBS, and they said yes. They're thinking of doing that for another ship for the Picard, probably a T6 Challenger class, is what they said on stream, but they haven't gotten the permission for that yet. Yeah, it's true, Destiny. Yeah, so that right there is the Janeway class. Just bask in the stupidity. Yes, that is a primary hull, a saucer, and the secondary hull completely disconnected and not connected by anything. And the nacelles are also not connected at all. Yeah, that's true, Common. They do own the idea of the Iconian War, but they still had to get it past CBS. This thing is the stupidest ship I have ever seen, and that's saying something because I have an Iconian Dreadnought. I can actually fly one. Let me go pick it up. Where? Here we go. So this is my Vomp Dreadnought. Now, if you notice, right, it has pieces floating. Okay, it still looks better than that does. This thing, which is a Herald Vomp Dreadnought carrier, still looks better than the Janeway class. This has pieces floating, not very many. It has like a couple of little things down there, and then like these arms, those are floating, but the rest of it is all one piece. But the most important part is that the primary hull, which is up here, and the secondary hull, which is down here, are connected. Yeah, they are. It is intentional that way, but it's like little things down here. These are weapon pylons, so they make sense to be floating around, right? That's fine. That makes sense. And these make sense because these are the nacelle pylons. The floating nacelles, I actually don't have a problem with. That's a pretty decent idea. But the floating secondary hull and primary hull, no, that's stupid. That's way too stupid. These need to be connected, and then the ship would be somewhat decent. Yeah, because think the reason why, right? The reason why it's okay for the pylons or the nacelles to be separate is because what are nacelles? Yeah, two floating hulls. What are nacelles? Nacelles are basically particle collectors and warp coils, and that's it. And housing, you know, those are totally fine to be floating around. You don't really need to do a lot of modification on those things. You don't need to be there. You don't need to fix them very much. Nacelles don't usually get destroyed. However, on every Starfleet vessel, and I do mean every Starfleet vessel, engineering is in the secondary hull. It's the same with the Janeway class. Engineering is in the secondary hull. Now, just remind me how on earth people get from the top saucer to the bottom section. Because they have to, because engineering always explodes on a Starfleet ship. I mean, it's like the consoles on the bridge and then engineering. Yeah, well, what happens when the transporters go down, Destiny? Like they always do. Also, if this so I need to show you something. Another reason why this is really dumb. In Starfleet or in Star Trek Online, there's an entire race. No, Alex, the nacelles aren't connected. Yeah, exactly, Destiny. The holes float apart. Yes. No, none of these pieces are connected. So there's a nacelle over there you can't see, a nacelle, a secondary hull, and the primary hull and saucer, and all of those are disconnected. Yeah, for the normal ships, the secondary hull is the part connected to the nacelles, yes. Like, if I bring up the Odyssey here, let me zoom in a little bit. There's the nacelles, there's the pylons, and then there's the secondary hull. And look, it's connected to the primary hull. That makes sense. Anyways, the reason why this is stupid is because, even more stupid than it already is because in Star Trek Alliance specifically, the Breen have gotten a massive increase in abilities. And they have a ton of ships. And every single one of their ships can drain energy power. Every single ship has the ability to drain power from a target ship. Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. Destiny is kind of like, hey, we don't need the secondary hull anymore. We can just include it in the primary hull. You know, it would be kind of cool. Like one hull with drones, that's fine. It's the fact that there's two hulls that really bothers me. The nacelles are okay. The floating nacelles are okay. It makes sense. This does not. Anyways.